Can Tifa Lockhart one-shot kill some fools in Final Fantasy Standard all on a budget? That's what we're going to find out today. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, we're heading to Final Fantasy Standard to see if we can one-shot kill our opponent, hopefully on turn 3, with Tifa Lockhart. So let's talk about our Tifa one-shot combo deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see the deck in action. So we are built around the new Final Fantasy rare Tifa Lockhart. So Tifa, a 2-mana 1/2 with Trample. Most importantly, it is landfall, double its power. So the idea of our deck is we need to get Tifa up to 5 power, because if we can get Tifa up to 5 power, all we need is a single land drop to make it big enough to kill our opponent with 1 attack. So the easiest combo, Titanic Growth. For 2 mana gives Tifa +4/+4. So that plus Tifa's 1 power gets it to 5 power, fetch land, crack the fetch land, double up to 20 power, win the game. We also have cards like Giant Growth, which only gives +3/+3, so it doesn't quite let us one-shot with Tifa by itself. But if we had maybe Snakeskin Veil or Royal Treatment or protection spells that also give +1/+1, that also gets Tifa all the way up to 5 power, lets us combo kill on turn 3. Overprotect, not as good at combo killing on turn 3, but for 2 mana, it gives Tifa +3/+3 and Trample and Hexproof and Indestructible until end of turn. But that's the basic idea of the deck. Play Tifa, protect Tifa with our Royal Treatments and Snakeskin Veils, get it up to 5 power, and then all we gotta do is play one of our fetch lands, Fabled Passage or Escape Tunnel, and then use them to crack it and get a forest. For 2 landfall triggers, Tifa ends up at 20 power, hopefully winning the game on the spot. So that's the entire goal of the deck. The rest of the deck, we have a few other creatures. Llanowar Elves just speeds things up. If we have a turn 1 Llanowar, we can turn 2 Tifa and leave up one of our 1-mana protection spells, which is really important. If you decide to play this deck, protecting Tifa is essential. If you just run it out against a deck that probably has removal on turn 2 with no protection and your opponent kills it, you're going to be in for a bad time. So really value trying to protect Tifa, especially in a removal heavy matchup. So Llanowar helps there. Zaz, Chocobo, Mossborn Hydra give us some backup landfall creatures. They work with our fetch lands, although they're not nearly as explosive as Tifa. Mossborn Hydra looks like it would be almost to Tifa, is a 3-mana 0/0 that enters with a counter on it, and then it has landfall, you double the amount of counters on it. The problem is, it doesn't care about its power, so the pump spells don't really do anything. If we Giant Growth a Mossborn Hydra, it's still just going to get counters equal to the number of counters on it, not its power. So it's much harder to one-shot kill with, but still, we can play a Zaz Chocobo, play a Mossborn Hydra, play some fetch lands, grow them pretty big, and maybe kill our opponent that way as well. We also have Bushwhack Archdruid's Charm, mostly as removal, but they're removal spells that can also find us lands to make sure we're always triggering landfall on Tifa. Archdruid's Charm in specific, really good in the deck. Not only can it tutor up a land, instant speed, put it right into play, it can tutor up Tifa if we want to, or another creature. It can fight something, it can exile an artifact and enchantment. And one of the tricks with this card is if we don't have everything we need to win right away, a lot of times we can Archdruid's Charm on our opponent's end step to get a fetch land, and then untap and do our Tifa shenanigans, go on to win the game. In the sideboard, a bit more removal, a bunch of ways to answer artifacts and enchantments, some Graveyard Hate and Scavenger Use and Tranquil Throwback, another Royal Treatment. I should say here, if you're playing on Arena, I've played this deck a bit now. I have not actually brought in Scavenger Use and Tranquil Throwback once. I do think we want Graveyard Hate of some form in the deck, but you could probably replace it with other Graveyard Hate that is not a rare. Get the budget down a little bit more. If you get rid of those 2 cards, it's only 15 total rares to build on Magic Arena, which is actually pretty cheap. So anyway, that is Tifa combo. That's our Budget Magic for this week. So let's jump into some games and see just how realistic it is to one-shot kill people on turn 3 with Tifa Lockhart. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Budget Magic time. We are trying to one-shot some fools in Final Fantasy Standard with Tifa Lockhart, who up against Dimir. This hand's fine. We don't have a Tifa. We do have backup Tifa, which is Mossborn Hydra, but it's much worse than Tifa. Ooh, Dark Confidant. Okay. I can get behind some bobbin. Well, that's Mossborn Hydra. The problem with Mossborn Hydra is its landfall triggers only doubles its counters, not its power. So the pump spells don't do the same thing it does with Tifa. Opponent land, and Bob's into another Bob. Chooses not to play the Bob. Well, All right, here comes the Mossborn. We do have protection in hand, which is nice. Let's play the Fable Passage. Crack the Fable Passage. Funny to play 8 fetch lands in a mono green deck, an all forest deck. No fixing here. It's just for the landfall. Well, let's get in with old Mossy. Opponent, go for the throw. Well, I mean, we just put some effort into growing it. Let's overprotect. Wow, an opponent scoops it up. Well, no Tifa, but a pretty easy win. I don't even know if we change really anything. I don't know what our opponent's up to. I think we just maybe one more royal treatment because they're removal heavy, and yeah, run it like that. Tifa one shot, budget magic versus apparently Dimir Dark Confidant, Dimir Bob. Boy, I wish we had like a forest. That is the downside of playing these 8 fetch lands, is if you draw all fetch lands, your hand is so clunky, but I don't think we can mulligan it because the rest of the hand's pretty good. It's just a little slow. Maybe we just draw a forest. Opponent Undercity Sword is going to do a little surveilling. All right, forest is good. Well, let's get down Zaz Chocobo. Also, kind of even worse than Mossborn Hydra, but only a 1-drop. Opponent very good at having Bob on turn 2. Well, all right, let's keep on Chocoboing. Zaz Chocobo number 2. Escape Tunnel. Grow the birds. Let's attack first. Maybe our opponent does not realize how landfall works and we get a free Bob kill. Nope, opponent reading the escape tunnel. Okay. Well, they're probably not going to block with the Bob. The opponent's going to take it. Well, let's crack. Sadly, we cannot leave up royal treatment here to protect a Chocobo. Opponent Bob's into Mistride's Village. Okay, I do not know what is this Dimir control with Bob? What is our opponent doing? I have no idea what our opponent's doing. Something spicy, though. Opponent gonna go for the throw a bird. Boo. Leave my Chocobo alone. Do we just play Tifa and hope? I don't really want to waste it. Yeah, let's just do it this way. Let's just fight down the Bob. Grow the Chocobo. Leave up the royal treatment. We might as well crack the... Well, yeah, let's crack the fetch. Grow the Chocobo. So we get in for 4. Hit our opponent down to 14. And we have the royal treatment up if our opponent has a removal spell, which is good. Am I not in front of my microphone? There we go. There we go. Now you can hear me. Opponent. Mount. Oh, is this... Are they Crimin? Is this Grixis control? Liliana's actually brutal for us. We have a ton of ways to protect Tifa from targeted removal. Edicts, though, that is another story. Thankfully, our opponent cannot tick down again, so we're gonna play Tifa here. Could really use a land. We don't have enough pump to just one-shot if we draw a land, but I mean, I guess being Archdruid's Charm for a land is just so slow. Opponent going after the Tifa with Annoying with Affliction. Well, let's give Tifa the royal treatment. Royal treatment's pretty good. The ward 1 is a nice little bonus. Opponent's gonna take up Lily. I think we're gonna discard old Mossy here. Okay, well, we get a forest at least. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, we can't quite win. We're actually not that far away from winning, as weird as that sounds. So we just got to kill the Lily so it doesn't tick down. We could have, let's see. So if we cast the Snakeskin Veil, that's 3 power. Land doubles to 6. Archdruid's Charm doubles to 12. So we could hit our opponent to like 3. Bob's into a Phantom Interference. Bob does seem good with... Oh. No, that might be game. Lily part 2. Yeah, these edicts. Ugh. Edicts are something we do not have a plan for, and our opponent has a lot of lilies. Well, all right, Tifa. Tifa took down 1 lily along the way, though. It took down 1 lily at least. Opponent down to 16. I'm curious. How many of you know why Dark Confidant's called Bob? I feel like this is one of those questions. We're going to Archdruid's Charm. They can counter if they want to. Opponent is going to counter. Yeah. Realistically, another pump spell. Yeah. Realistically, we're kind of just Lily locked here. Still don't really think we change anything, though. But like I said, I'm curious. As we go to game 3 here, and we're going to be on the play, which is good. How many of you... Okay, we're a fetch land away. We're a fetch land away. How many of you know what Bob means? Where does the nickname Bob come from? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. It's one of those questions that's a test of how long you've been playing Magic, I think. If you've been playing Magic for 20 years, probably 100% of people know why it's called Bob. If you're new from Final Fantasy, I imagine 0% of people know why the nickname's Bob. Well, opponent, gonna crack a Fable. Wow, that's the Fable Passage. Do we just go for it? We gotta go for it. We gotta go for the turn 3 kill, run out the Tifa. All right, the removal check is on. If our opponent does not have a removal spell, the game ends on turn 3. The game ends on turn 3. That is some nice, it's a Dark Confidant, and that's game. That's game. That's a Tifa kill. Well, okay. First, Titanic Growth, up to 5 power. And then Fable Passage, Double Trouble, up to 10, and Fable Passage, Double Trouble, up to 20. Our opponent's at 19. I mean, I guess the Zaz Chocobo mean we win anyway, but opponent, even with the Bob blocking, 20 from Tifa, and that's the reason to play the deck. You get these turn 3 kills that, it's like Grease Fang or something. It's just like, in fact, like this removal check. Can you kill it? If you can't kill it, I'm gonna kill you on turn 3. Tifa Lockhart shenanigans. This hand... Go, Chocobo. Chocobo attack. Go for the eyes. Chocobo. Boo. Opponent. Lush Portico. This hand's actually... Well, let's see if a Chocobo can go all the way. Chocobo's in the deck because we have the landfall synergies. It seems hard to one-shot with. You need a lot of giant grows. But it can chip in. We got a protection spell. We got a fight spell. See what our opponent's doing. Abzan up the Beanstalk. Sure. Draw your cards, friend. Opponent draws a card and passes. Ooh, Mossy, eh? Well, let's play the escape tunnel. Crack the escape tunnel. Grab a forest. Grow the Chocobo. Man, Chocobo's just such a good word. Some words are just fun to say, and Chocobo. Chocobo's like S tier. If I ever make a tier list of words that I just enjoy... Chill with the Edict Standard players. My God. When did Standard become about Liliana's and Shieldred's Edicts? The same day we decided to start playing Tifa combo. Well, all right. Go Mossborn Hydra. I mean, Mossborn Hydra is legit. The trample helps a ton. That's the other problem with Zaz Chocobo is it doesn't have evasion. Just play some things. Trigger your Beanstalk. Overlord. Give us an Overlord, opponent. Opponent, look at that. They're thinking... Do I die if I don't kill this? The answer is maybe. It's a definite maybe. We would love to draw a fetch land. That would be the best. Opponent. Dread Knight. Draws. Dread Knight. Creature form. Passes. Fetch land. Normal land. Okay. So the thing I mentioned before, Tifa doubles its power when you make a land drop. Mossborn just doubles the counters. So we can't like pump spell, double everything, win. I don't think we can win here, can we? So if we double up to... We double up to 4. Archer with Charm doubles up to 8. Giant Growth is 3, so we hit for 12, but our opponent's at... Yeah, we can't quite. So I think we just do nothing. So I think the plan is to win next turn. Opponent's gonna jump, soak up 2 damage. So I think the plan is, we have 5 mana. We have the Overprotect in hand. What we can do is leave up the Overprotect, as long as we don't have another silly Edict. Protect the Hydra. End step, Archdruid Charm for a fetch land, trigger the Hydra up to 8, main phase crack it up to 16, pump spell, that should do it. So I think we win next turn even through a removal spell, although an Edict does get us still. Opponent, shoot the Sheriff. Well, we're not just going to protect this Mossborn Hydra, we're going to overprotect. No, that doesn't work. Nope. Mossborn costs 3. Yep. Opponent successfully exiled there. Own up the Beanstalk. Well, let's do what we said. Archdruid Charm. Snag us a escape ton, and opponent sees what's happening. Maybe a little bit of shame in there with the temporary lockdown and scoops it up. Well, okay. So opponent, some sort of Abzan Beanstalk deck? We do have some enchantment removal. This deck is, it's a tough deck to sideboard a ton with. We need the pump spells, we need the combo creatures, we need the protection, not a lot of flex slots. We can like trim a little bit, like bring in a bit of removal, trim a little bit of pump spells, maybe trim like a Mossborn Hydra, but it's a tough deck to bring in many cards. You're kind of locked into keeping in most of the main deck, although some ways to deal with enchantments seems good. Yeah, I guess we got 2 giant grows. Yeah, 1 Mossy, run it like that. Now it's a lot of fetch lands to go with a Mossborn Hydra. It seems kind of clunky, though. Okay, there's a Tifa. That's good. That is good. We have a Snakeskin Veil for protection. We do not have a fetch land. So this isn't a turn 3 kill currently, but it's not bad. Actually, we might just wait and play Tifa. Well, opponent has up the Beanstalk on too. We might wait and play Tifa on on turn 3 so we can leave up protection. You know what? Now that we have Titanic Growth, I think we run it out, because the upside is winning the game next turn if we draw a fetch land. If they kill this, it's sad, because we kind of have the Boggles problem of a bunch of things to put on creatures and no creatures. But we could just draw a fetch land and end the... Okay, Mosswood Red Knight. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land. Ugh, not quite. So the problem is, if we could Giant Growth and Titanic Growth before playing a land, we would win. Instead, I think we just hit for a bunch. Chip in for 10. Not quite a full kill, but 10 on turn 3 is not bad. Tifa's a card. Tifa is an actual Magic card. Found it. I'm gonna block with the Dread Knight. Sure. That's fine. Found it. Down to 12. I mean, this should mean we win next turn. It should mean we win next turn, even through a targeted removal spell, because we have the Snakeskin Veil. So if they try to kill it, Snakeskin Veil, untap, double pump spell land, GG. Wow. All right, Overlord. Sure. Sure. That is fine. Get your ramp on, opponent. Draw your cards. And opponent gonna pass. Well, they could have Leyline Binding. Wow, it's a fetch land too. If they do not have Leyline Binding, the game is over. Titanic Growth. Wow, okay. Well, Titanic Growth, pump it. Escape Tunnel. Up to 10. Cracked it. This lets us kill with 20 damage, even with a protection spell up, and Tifa might be kind of busted. I mean, it's only been 2 games, but did we break it? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, so far so good though. Let's keep it going. We are playing some Tifa Lockhart one-shot combo. Oh god, all right. No creatures, no keep. That's the biggest rule of this deck. If you decide to try this deck, don't keep hands without creatures. Because there's not a ton of creatures in the deck. This one's actually pretty good. Not a bad 6. The question is, what do we put to the bottom? We're definitely keeping. It's probably just Archdruid's Charm. Is there any world where we play the fetch first? Yeah, let's just play the Zaz Chocobo. Chocobo. I kind of want, like, an assistant who just stands next to me while I record. And whenever I say Chocobo, they do... Oh... Is it a? They just play the Chocobo theme, like 10 seconds of the Chocobo theme from Final Fantasy VII. I might have to get on that. Well, play the fetch. Get in with the Chocobo. Well, this is interesting. So far we're 2-0, but we've kind of beaten up on a couple of brews, cool brews, but still a couple of brews. Now this is the real test for Tifa combo. Can we beat the best deck in Standard? Can we beat the Cutter? I have no faith because I always lose to Cutter, but maybe Tifa Power can do it. Hit you for 2 with Zaz Chocobo. You know what we really would love is just to draw land, so that we can Tifa and leave up a protection spell. What do we got? Eldrazi Titan. Yargolope. Yeah, land would be the best. If we don't draw land, I'm actually not sure what we do next turn. We want to get Tifa down, but... losing Tifa scares me because I don't know if this Chocobo can actually go all the way as much as theme. Someone's gotta... I need that assistant opponent. Another Yargolop. Are we getting in with the Otter? You got it, right? Like, the Otter's gonna be a 1/1 during your turn, so you can't really block the Chocobo. Theme song, please. Successfully anyway, so you might as well get in for 3. About it. All right, there's the Otter attack. Yes, we will drop to 17. About it. Pass it. Well, we draw the land, which is great. So now I get to play the Tifa, play the land so we can leave up protection, grow the Chocobo, hit you, down to 14. Can we win next turn? So Tifa, Giant Growth goes up to 4, land doubles to 8, land doubles to 16. So if we draw a fetch land, yes. If we draw a forest, yes, but with no protection, because we could like Giant Growth, land drop, double it. Archdruid's Charm for a land, double it. Well, let's see what happens. Bone it. Ooh, okay, Corey Steelcutter. This does kind of encourage our opponent to go for it, because they want to trigger their Cutter. Burst Lightning. Well, all right. I think it's time for a Snakeskin Veil. It's also worth noting, our 2 1-mana protection spells both grow Tifa as well, which is pretty relevant. Even a 1 power boost means that Giant Growth can do what Titanic Growth usually has to do. That's the power of Snakeskin Veil and Royal Treatment. Because you really want to get Tifa to 5, right? That's the magic number. So starts at 1. Titanic Growth gets it to 5 by itself, but Snakeskin Veil plus Giant Growth gets it to 5. That also works the same as the Titanic Growth. I don't know how we attack here. I think we get in with the Tifa and leave the Zaz Chocobo back on defense. right. Not drawing a land is awkward, although we might be able to win next turn. Because we can't Arch through his Charm end step to get a fetch land. That still means no protection. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Opponent, thinking about blocking. I don't think there's much of a point, but opponent going to take it. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Tifa is, if there's not a fetch land on the battlefield, it's a lot less scary. You don't have to worry about it getting pumped. Wow, so many Argolobs, opponent. Number 3. To the top. Draws a card. Looking at the Chocobo. Burst Lightnings are face down to 12. Okay, sure. Well, Chocobo in front of the non-trampler. See if they have a Monstrous Rage. Monstrous Rage. So we could Arch Druid's Charm. Do we die here? I don't think we die. I think we gotta try to win. I think the game plan is try to win with Tifa next turn. So we are not gonna fight. If they have another Monstrous Growth, we die. Come on, hold. All right. We drop to 2, but we got a Tifa. All right, let's see if this works. Arch Druid's Charm. Tutor us up a fetchable land, which we'll grab an Escape Tunnel. I think this is lethal with our opponent at 10. They got no blockers. We even have protection. Like, we definitely win, right? Giant Growth. Are we gonna beat Prowess? Tifa? Double it up? Wait. Wait, did we just beat Cutter? I think we just beat Cutter. 10 power. The opponent's at 10 life. Hilarious. I guess it wouldn't have mattered because we could have pumped a little more, but our opponent's pain lands actually mattered here. And Tifa Lockhart. Better than Corey Steel Cutter confirmed. Move over 2-drop. There's a new sheriff in town. How does this keep working? Let's bring in the Haywire Bite. Maybe go down to Zaz Chocobo. This is tough. We have a bunch of heritage reclamations. I don't know if we really want to go super deep on trying to fight the Cutter, though. I think we'd rather just make our opponent die. Like, I think having the option to fight Cutter is good, but we don't want to weaken our primary plan too much, so let's run it like that. On to game number 2, we're going to be on the draw against the best deck in Standard. Izzet Prowess. This hand, I mean, we're a pump spell away from it being great. Actually, if this heritage reclamation was a pump spell, we'd be feeling oh my god, that's Titanic Growth. I mean, there's a world where we win on turn 3. I'm not sure we live in that world because if our opponent has a removal spell, I don't even know if we go for it, honestly. We have a Royal Treatment in hand. We might try to win on turn 4. It might be better just to fetch land next turn. Opponent, cast a bunch of spells, opted, Sleight of Hand, growing the Swift Spear. It's probably better to wait a turn so we can leave up protection. Opponent hits us to 16. Oh, well, okay. Well, now that we drew a second Tifa, I think running one out for the upside of maybe when if they just go like Cutter Cantrip or something. Okay, Storm Chaser's talent. Then I think we just win. All right, opponent's got the Burst Lightning. Sure. Removal check pass. Ooh, drawing a 4 is actually not bad. So we can play the Tifa. We can play the Forest. Pass the turn. So this lets us leave up Royal Treatment. We get another shot at it next turn. Found it, land. Come on, just do your Cutter stuff. Corey Steel Cutter, sure. They might be able to leave up enough blockers to not all the way die. Burst Lightning the Tifa. Well, I think we would like our Tifa to live. Let's give it a Royal Treatment. So 2 goes up to 6. 6 doubles to 12. Oh my god, we do win. Okay, well, this is the power of Royal Treatment. That extra buff. Titanic Growth. Grow it up to 6. Fetch land up to 12. Crack the fetch land up to 24. Opponent can soak up 2, but that is not enough. And we just kind of 2-0'd the best deck in Standard with budget Tifa Lockhart. And it's not even like our opponent had bad draws, or it wasn't like they got mana screwed or something. They actually played like, yeah, GG opponent. They actually played a good game. They had the Cutter, they had a bunch of removal. They were doing what they wanted to do, but I don't know how this is happening, but we'll take it. Maybe Final Fantasy is going to shake up Standard after all with Tifa Lockhart of all things. Budget Magic. We are doing some Tifa Lockhart one-shotting in this hand. Unfortunately, the all fetch land draw, which does happen on occasion, but we got the Tifa. We got the pump spells. Like, oh my god, is this Prowess again? Okay. Well, this is good. This is good. This is the biggest, most played best deck in Standard. Ooh, Zaz Chocobo. All right, let's get down Zaz Chocobo. We already played this deck once. Playing it a second time, not a surprise because it's so much of the meta. Let's see if the first time was a fluke. If we beat Prowess twice, with our budget Tifa deck, then I think standard is clearly saved. No banning's necessary, just play Tifa. No, don't actually take that seriously, Wizards. Opponent, gonna get in with Otter. Do a little opting. No Yargles this time. And hits us down to 18. We're like a fetch land away from the Tifa kill. We can play the Tifa. We have 2 protection spells. Do we want to bushwhack for something? I think we just get Tifa down. The upside's so big. Like, we have the Titanic Growth in hand. We have the protection in hand. We have the mana to cast it. All we really need is a fetch land. Burst Lightning on the Tifa. Well, Royal Treatment. Fizzle it. Give it a little ward. Pump it a little bit. Royal Treatment also gets it outside of, or Snakeskin Veil, outside of Burst Lightning range, which is nice. And the extra ward's kind of a bonus, too. All right, well, if we draw a fetch land and this Tifa lives... Okay, Slick Shot Show Off. I mean, that is scary. That's a lot of damage. All right, deck. How's about a fetch land? How about a Llanowar Elf? All right, we could fight down the Slick Shot Show Off, but I think our best bet is not try to play, like, mono green Tifa control. We're here to try to kill people. Titanic Growth on the Tifa. This is not enough for lethal, but it's a big attack. Play the land, double it. And, yeah. Get in, hit ya. The race is on. So opponent, technically if they choose not to block, we win. All right, they are gonna block. They could have tried to go to 1 there. All right, opponent takes 12 down to 5. I mean, maybe Tifa's just, yeah, instead of Llanowar, we're gonna leave up protection. Opponent, more opt-in. Opponent draws a card. Hopefully we don't die to Slick Shot here. It should be tough with just 3 lands. We just need to draw land. If we draw land, opponent, okay. Well, that's good news. We're not going to die. Opponent's going to stock up, try to set up for the future. This works out great for us, though, because it means we're living, and it means our opponent's tapped down, so odds of winning next turn increasing. Opponent going to play some defense with the Slick Shot. Oh, I really wanted to land. Let's go to combat, do some attacking. Opponent's got to block the Zaz Chocobo. Oh, okay. Opponent has convinced themselves removal's gonna work here. That is an extra crispy recipe. Yeah, let's do a little protection on the Zaz Chocobo and make you die. Yeah, I don't know about that plan. I mean, I guess our opponent was in the position where they were so far behind that you just have to take the riskiest, highest upside line and hope for the best. So it probably was the right play. They just had to hope we had nothing, basically. Yeah, bringing the Haywire Might as a cutter answer, maybe 1 Heritage Reclamation. I'm actually not convinced we want to bring in that many answers. Run it like that. As I mentioned before, the problem is, like, if you sideboard in too many answers to cutter, it just slows the deck down. And the more that we play this matchup, the more it feels like we just want to be the aggro. Like, the game isn't about trying to stop our opponent from killing us. It's just about trying to kill our opponent first. If they race us, they race us. But hopefully, thanks to the power of Tifa, we can race them more often than they race us. It would be nice if we had another untap land, but opponent land and passing. Well, Bushwhack is actually kind of not bad. Bushwhacking up a forest seems kind of reasonable here. Bushwhack, grab the forest. About it. Draws, island, and passes. Giant growth, eh? Well, we're gonna play it safe. I know you're probably saying, well, why not just play Tifa Lockhart, and then you can have the fetch land next turn, because then Tifa's gonna die, and then we're very sad. With the protection in hand, I think valuing protecting Tifa is worth it. Found it. Screaming Nemesis. Sure. Screaming Nemesis not as scary against us as it might look. Yes, we make a really big creature and need to attack with it, but they have trample, so we're only actually dealing 3 damage to the Screaming Nemesis if they block a Tifa or something. Plus, ideally, our opponent will just be... Oh my god, that's escape tunnel. Alright, well, Tifa, can we win next turn? Opponent, Burst Lightning on the Tifa. Well, let's Snakeskin Veil. Okay, opponent has a Spell Pierce. Well, alright. Looks like it's gonna be up to old Mossborn Hydra to take this one home. We've seen a lot of Tifa kills, not as many Mossborn Hydra kills. Opponent, Sleight of Hand. Untap land, maybe? Untap land would be fine. Giant Growth. Yeah, I think we gotta do it. So play the land, play the Escape Tunnel, grow the Hydra. Sadly, all of our pump spells look much less impressive now. Without the Tifa, I mean, there's still, like, something, but Opponent gonna get in, hit us with the Screaming Nemesis. And VVA. Okay, spicy. I mean, we can kill it. We can kill it with the Archdruid's Charm. Let's untap. Royal Treatment. Well, all right. Yeah. I was wondering if we wanted to make the Mossborn unblockable, but I think we just need to do it this way. Grow the Mossborn. Oh, do we even care about killing? Do we need to kill VV? We need to kill our opponent. That's the real answer, is we need our opponent to die, not VV. I mean, VV dying's fine. Do we die if VV lives? That's the real question. I think we gotta risk it. We could die here. So yes, we could Archdruid's Charm kill the VV. But what we want to do is Archdruid's Charm get a fetch land, kill our opponent next turn. Opponent stock up. Yeah, that is. Oh, do we need to kill the VV now? We're gonna let it go. If you can kill us, you can kill us. We came here to kill you, not to kill VVs. So they have 3, 4. I mean, if they have monstrous rage effects, then death is very likely. They could also like have a Spell Pierce or something to ruin our plans. Hits us down in 6. And gonna make a little, oh my god. Oh, we got it. Opponent Screaming Net. We're gonna beat Prowess twice. Okay, Archdruid's Charm. Snag us a fetch land. I probably should have gotten Fabled Passage, actually. Well, it doesn't really matter, though, because we get to play a land. Mossborn Hydra up to 8 power. Mossborn Hydra getting even bigger, 16 power. Crack the Escape Tunnel, 32 power. And then, I mean, I guess we might as well do a little flexing here. Giant Growth, and maybe a Giant Growth, and that's a 38-38 Mossborn Hydra coming at your face, opponent. Trusting the Screaming Nemesis will save them, but that's not how Trample works. Or triggers, for that matter. All right, 4-0, and we beat Prowess twice, and Tifa might actually be kind of a busted budget deck. Wow. We are going for the 5-0 sweep with some budget Tifa Lockhart one-shot combo. Well, I mean, this looks like how our hands tend to look. What are you up to, opponent? Ooh, Rakdos, a Blazemire Verge, and Dress. All right, well, I imagine they take Archdruid's Charm, probably. All right, they go with the cheaper one. Go with the Giant Growth. I'll play the land. Huh, so many options. Let's go with the Zaz Chocobo. Next turn, we can Bushwhack for a land and play Llanowar, I guess. Passing. Llanowar. Maybe we just Escape Tunnel and not Llanowar? Actually, do we want a Bushwhack or do we want a Llanowar? All right, opponent appears willing to take the 1. I think this makes the most sense. Could have cracked the fetch for 1 more damage. Although then they kill Henry. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if 1 damage matters. It felt like they had a removal spell and were thinking of killing Henry's response, but they also had the Fabled Passage, which kind of works like a... Okay, so opponent did have the cut down. So yes, we were correct. So the fetch didn't actually do anything. Well, at least we got a Llanowar down. We don't have any protection this hand, which is awkward against a removal heavy color combination opponent. Now they gotta take Archdruid's Charm, right? Like that's gotta be, yeah. Opponent takes Archdruid's Charm, sure. Crack this Escape Tunnel. Grab us a forest. How about drawing a Mossborn Hydra? Kind of wanted a protection spell. Well, let's Bushwhack for a land. And play the Tifa. Play the land. And run out the Llanowar. Yeah, that's what we got. Yeah, this is going the worst out of any game we've played with the deck so far. We have 1 card in hand. I feel like this is where the deck's gonna have a tough time. Fear missing out for our opponent, because we don't really have a way to rebuild. We don't have stock ups or card advantage engines. We're playing some good, clean, fair, no card draw magic. Well, get down the Mossborn Hydra, play the land, grow the stuff, sadly. Even with the landfall, Tifa's looking very sad here. Tifa's so explosive when we have the support for it, but when we don't have the support, my god. Even when we double it, it's, wow, they're gonna kill the Mossborn Hydra, okay. Well, we get another forest. Hooray. So much mana. We could be casting a Crater Hoof here shortly. Bound it. Yeah, I mean, we can't block. We can't give up the Tifa. If there, well, okay, Overprotect is protection. We're actually getting to the point where if we can draw fetch land, maybe we'd have a shot here. Opponent. Mosswood Red Knight. I'm gonna draw a card, sure. Down to 18. And there's a Mosswood Red Knight. But is our opponent playing Jund? Are they a Jund deck? Gets in with a FOMO. Yeah, no blocks. Sure, down to 14. Oh, another Tifa. Okay, Tifa is legendary. So that's kind of a dead draw. I mean, if we draw a fetch land, Tifa's what? 4, 8, 16? I guess that's not quite lethal. Opponent gets in. Our deck is not good at playing defense, which is fine because it's not a great standard for playing defense anyway. Oh. Rakdos Surveil Legend. Sure, opponent pass it. As much as we love Tifa, that was not the time to draw Tifatron. Ooh, okay, that one went rough. That one was bad. That was our worst game by far. So our opponent's Jund 2-drops, I guess. That was just like every random 2-drop. What do we even change? Another Royal Treatment seems good. The Haywire Might seems good. Maybe a little bit more fighting and run it like that. On to game number 2, we are on the play. Oh, okay. The all pump spell Llanowar hand, not the one we want. Okay, 1 land, 1 keep. This hand scares me. I feel like our winning streak might be in danger. Well, get on the Llanowar. Hopefully we draw lands. That's what scares me about this one. We're a landfall deck and we only got, okay, fetch land is good. Fetch land is good. That is a land. Well, let's play the Zaz Chocobo. Play the Fable Passage, grow it, and let's just crack it. Grow the Chocobo. Grab a forest. We're not going to attack with the Llanowar. We're going to leave up our Royal Treatment. Land number 2 was huge. If we didn't draw that land, we were in for a rough go of it. But now we're kind of okay mana-wise. Opponent, going to try to cut down the Chocobo. Well, let's make a Royal Chocobo. I think we just get in with the Zaz Chocobo, and we're actually just going to Titanic Growth it like we're playing a game of Limited here. Getting a little extra damage, hit you down to 13. I mean, maybe we just cast some giant growths on Chocobos and it gets there. The problem with Zaz Chocobo, it's a good card, but in this deck, the problem is it doesn't have trample. Oh, all right. Rakdos Surveil dude again. It doesn't have trample and, all right. Escape Tunnel Grow the Chocobo. It doesn't have trample, and because Tifa and Mossborn both have trample naturally, we're not really playing stuff that gives trample because we just assume our best threats already have trample. Opponent, gonna do a little jumping. Well, if they get up to 1,000,000 mana, they can cast that thing from the graveyard as a 5/5, I think. 5/5 flyer. Opponent, Fabled Passage. And all right, there is, man, everyone's playing Corey Steelcutter. Jund Steelcutter, eh? And a Mosswood Red Knight. Going to trigger the cutter. Passes. I don't even know, at some point we might have to just start staying on defense. At least the Chocobo is kind of a good blocker. Our opponent's just, with the cutter and this dead Dread Knight, there's so much to slog through. Yeah, it is a 5/5 flyer if they cast it from the graveyard. Well, they have another one. About it. Trigger on the cutter. Yeah, I think next turn we start staying on defense with the Chocobo. Hard hitting question. I mean, we don't really want to kill any of this stuff. It's not good enough to actually spend a removal spell on. We probably wait. The way this game's going, our opponent's not really trying to attack through, and we can't really attack them either. They might actually start casting the 5/5 flyers, and then we can ask it a hard hitting question. Mosswood Red Knight, sure. And if it really is 2-drop tribal, my god. It's just like every playable 2-drop, and then some that I don't know if they're playable or not. Opponent loots away a card, plays a land, no attacks. Chocobo holding things down on defense. Man, if only this Chocobo had trample. What a card. That would be a card. Could you imagine if it had trample? Oh, yeah, let's play the Fable Passage, I guess, and opponent land. And all right, here comes the 5/5. That's fine. We have we're kind of okay with our opponent spending 7 mana to get a 5/5 flyer, especially since we can just kill it. Yeah, let's bushwhack. Gotta fight it down, because that we know our opponent will attack with that. There's no reason not to. Sadly, our Chocobo does not fly, even though it's a bird. Final Fantasy. Flightless birds. What an absurdity. Opponent. If birds existed, I bet they'd fly. Opponent. Getting back a 5/5. Well, I think that, wait, okay. Escape tunnel. So the Chocobo's too big, but the Llanowar Elves has 1 power. Opponent's at 12. 1 + 3 is 4, +4 + 4, 8, 12. I think our game plan, man, I wish we had 1 more mana. I think our game plan is to try to win with a Llanowar Elves and pump spells. I'm not saying this is a good plan, but I think this is, we can't really slow roll it, can we? Okay, so if we draw an untapped land next turn, we can use Escape Tunnel to make Llanowar unblockable, cast all of our pump spells on the Llanowar, and get Xaxes. Since we obviously are not going to be, all right, Molten Collapse, you got Chocobo down. Well, we gotta win next turn, because if not, we're gonna die. The Chocobo was the only thing between us and death, and now the Chocobo's gone. Opponent gets to surveil with Garland. Yup. Well, that is 1 dead Chocobo. Although that Chocobo did really hold down the ground for a lot of this game, or we'd already be dead. Opponent combat getting in with the cutter tokens. Well, we will take our beats. Come on, untap land, untap land. Oh, this would be the funniest kill. This would be so good. This is not what our deck is supposed to be. We're not going to crack the fetch. All right, Fable Passage. They got 3 cards in hand. They could have removal, but we're dead next turn anyway, so we got to go for it. Fable Passage, crack it. Come on, Llanowar. Come on, Llanowar. Can we win with the best Llanowar ever? Crack it. And, yeah, we got to do the Escape Tunnel now before we start casting pump spells. Llanowar, unblockable. Not the removal check that we want, but we will take a win over we can get a Giant Growth. All right, up to 4 power. Titanic Growth, up to 8 power. And Titanic Growth Llanowar, 12 power, GG. Oh, they have removal. All right, well, it's still GG. Unfortunately, it's going to be us scooping instead of our opponent dying. The Llanowar tried so hard, it almost got there. And yeah, we're dead. Well, guess we got to settle for the 4-1, but we can talk about that in the wrap-up. Be right back. So what do we learn this week about Tifa one-shot in Standard? And overall, we went 4-1 with the deck, which is already an impressive record for a budget deck. But we also played Izzet Prowess twice, and we beat Izzet Prowess twice, which makes me think that this deck might actually be kind of good. Like, we took down the best deck in Standard twice in a row, which is really impressive and in a good record overall. It turns out that Tifa is an incredibly explosive card, and we saw it time and time and time again throughout our games, that just playing and protecting a Tifa makes it really easy to one-shot kill people and just like win out of nowhere. I will say about this deck, as we saw in our last game, sometimes it gets a little bit clunky. It does have a bit of the boggles problem, or maybe the infect problem. Decks that have all these spells that you need to play on creatures, but don't have a ton of creatures. So my biggest advice for this deck, I have 2 pieces of advice if you want to try this deck, and I would suggest trying this deck, because for a budget deck, it actually felt really powerful. It's really fast. It's probably perfect for ranking up on Arena since the games go by so quickly. So I think it's a good deck to try. Here's my 2 pieces of advice. So piece of advice number 1 is you really gotta protect the Tifa. If you just run out Tifa on turn 2 with no protection, especially against black decks, or even like the Prowess decks have a bunch of burst lightnings, like if your opponent's playing a removal deck and you just run out Tifa and it dies, you are going to be in for a very bad time. So I think that is piece of advice number 1. A lot of times it's better to wait and play Tifa on turn 3, try to win on turn 4, if it means you can leave up a Snakeskin Veil or a Royal Treatment or something to protect Tifa. So that's big thing number 1. Number 2 is mulliganing is very important with this deck. If you get a hand that just has all pump spells and no creatures, or even like all pump spells and a Llanowar Elves or something, you really can't keep that hand. You really need a hand that has a Tifa, has a Mossborn Hydra. I mean, Tifa is by far the most important one, but it has a Tifa, maybe a Mossborn Hydra is fine. Even as Oz Chocobo, you're kind of like okay with that, but don't keep hand that's just all pump spells and no creatures to put them on, because our odds of drawing the creature that we want is not super high, because we're not especially a creature heavy deck. So those are the 2 things to keep in mind. Protect the Tifa, mulligan the hands that just have a whole bunch of pump spells and no action. So there is sometimes a little bit of inconsistency. You sometimes just draw a bunch of pump spells and you're your creature dies or whatever. But my experience with the deck is if you play it carefully and try to protect the Tifa, the deck is actually incredibly powerful. It's really cheap to put together. It's honestly fast enough to race, like Omniscience. It's fast enough to race the Prowess decks, which we've seen in our matches. So if you're looking for something new to do on a budget in Standard, I would definitely recommend some one-shot Tifa action, because the deck might actually be pretty good. So anyway, that's Tifa one-shot. That's our budget magic for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.